Hello, everyone, and welcome back to another episode of Health Yes. Here at Cameron County Public Health, where we talk about all things public health and more. I'm your host, Javier,
and Andrea Gomez. On today's episode, we have a very special guest. I'm excited to pick his brain about everything happening in his department. Sheriff Manuel Trevino is joining us to share insight into how the sheriff's office works and how it helps serve the Cameron County community. Sheriff, thank you for being here today. We look forward to learning more about your background, the work of the sheriff's office, and how public safety and public health intersect in this very important job that you have. Yes, welcome.
Yes. No. Thank you for having me over. And yes, it's a very exciting and it's a very important role that I took here in January the 1st. But I love the challenge, and it's great. It's great.
So we have a new sheriff in town, don't we? How has it felt? You know, before we dive into all the amazing work that I'm sure you and your guys are doing, would you mind telling me a little bit about yourself?
Well, I've been very blessed. This December the 12th will be 34 years that I've been in law enforcement. Yes. I started at a very small department, which I credit a lot because I learned a lot from that department. Because when you work for a small department, you're literally a jack of all trades.
Right.
Yes.
You know? So I started there in Los Fresnos as a volunteer. I volunteered for 6 months. Then they offered me a full-time position. Then the fun started. And it's been great. It has a lot of challenges. It has its up and downs. I will admit that, you know. But I learned a lot. I learned a lot from this type of job that when you fall, you don't wait for nobody to pick you up. You pick yourself up. You never turn down help.
Right.
But you always pick yourself up because you're the one that put you on the floor. No one else puts you.
That's true.
So you pick yourself up. So yeah, it's been a very rewarding career. I was very blessed to be able to work for 2 different task forces in the narcotic section of law enforcement. Then, of course, when I was originally at the sheriff's office, when I started there in I believe it was 98. I was in the auto theft division. Then they moved me over to regular criminal investigations, and I worked my way up to the lieutenant position. Was there for a good while, then left and went back to the DA's office to work for a narcotic unit again.
Okay.
And then from there, I went to Primera PD, and I was there for the chief of police for 12 years.
Wow.
Yes.
So was that what you had been doing recently up until?
Yes. Until I got elected by the people, yes.
Wow.
I was the chief of police. Yes, in the city of Primera. Great city. Again, small community. As the chief, I started learning the other side of law enforcement, the admin part.
Oh,
Right.
The decisions when it comes to budgets. So those
all those things that people don't, or nobody really sees.
You expect to be out in the field a lot, and then you don't
but
realize
it's the
there's
undercurrent, right?
Yes,
all the admin stuff.
Yeah. And one of the things that, you know, on a small department, as a chief of police, you hold a bunch of different roles. You're not just there, the chief of police.
Right.
You're the emergency management. You assist the city manager at times. So there's a lot of roles that you play there. But it really prepared me for the role that I have now. Because it's hard when you spend so many years out on the street to say, okay, now I got to sit behind a desk.
Office.
Yeah, you know, for so many hours.
I actually have to
Restless
sit
legs.
down.
Yes, yeah. And then you hear the
Restless
radio chatter, you know, and your
Right.
patrol officers and things like that, and you have to remember, no, wait a minute, you're an admin.
Right, and you have to let them.
So let them do their job. You just kind of watch from the back.
Right.
So it took a while to get used to it, but, you know, I was very blessed that city treated the people there for being an outsider.
Right.
You know, I remember when I first got hired there, I had a gentleman come and tell me, he says, do you know what the lifespan of a chief of police in a small city is? I said, no. I said, I didn't know there was one. I said, but no, I don't. I said, the last about 3 years, that's all they last. I'm like, oh, wow. So I remember when I got to my 3rd year and I passed it, I said, well, okay, I passed the first one already. And then before I knew it, it was already 12 years.
Wow.
Yeah.
My goodness.
For those who may not know or may not be familiar, what does the sheriff's office do day to day?
We have what we call our patrol division.
Okay.
We have 3 shifts. It's combined of a total of 2 supervisors plus an additional 13, 14, an average, I think, between days off and all that, 13 deputies per shift.
Okay.
That's my boots on the ground.
Okay.
Then, of course, I have my dispatch, which answer the 911 and the radios. That's another group of 15 employees. We have an average of 3 or 4 per shift.
Okay.
Then I have my civil division, which are in charge of serving the subpoenas, serving any kind of civil, all it has to do with civil paperwork.
Okay.
I have that division,
Okay.
which includes clerks and law enforcement individuals, because they also are part of the inmate transport when we need to bring inmates from other counties or other states. Then I have my criminal investigation division, which is one of the most important, if not a very department that plays a big role, because they are the ones that are supposed to solve every crime.
Of
Of course, not in 45 minutes like the TV, but
No, yes.
yes, but yeah, I have a that department itself is composed of 2 sergeants.
Okay.
Correction, 2 sergeants, a lieutenant, and a captain.
Oh, okay.
Then I have my internal affairs division, which a lot of people are like, "Ooh, internal affairs." I said,
Right.
yes, but you have to have it
Of course.
because you have
Of
to be
course.
transparent.
Of course.
That division is I have a lieutenant and 2 investigators.
And especially with the heavy work that
Yes.
you guys are involved in.
It requires to have that. Then I have my investigators with the sergeant investigation department, but just for the jails itself.
Okay.
That's all.
Just
they do.
corrections.
Just the jails itself. Then I have another division that handles the court security with a sergeant there also.
Okay.
He handles all the security at the courthouse
Oh,
downtown.
Okay.
And then of course I have my clerical team,
Right.
and we run 2 offices. We run the main office in Olmito,
Okay.
plus the annex office in Harlingen.
Okay.
Yes, in Harlingen, the only thing that we have there are investigators.
Okay. Which
We
is the
have-
one on Wilson.
Yes,
Right?
yeah. We have the investigators there and 2 records clerks that are there.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
And
Nice.
basically, that's what composes the department and the law enforcement aspect.
Those are kind of like the divisions,
Yeah.
the structure of the office.
And the jail, we have the jailers,
Uh-huh.
which is on 3 different facilities that we hold. And we also have a command staff there, which is a commander, a major, captain, sergeants, lieutenants, and all that.
I want to go into that, kind of like the hierarchy of how it works. How is it from kind of like the ground up?
In the jail, we have corporals, sergeant, lieutenants, captain, a major, and a commander.
Okay.
That's how we have it in the jail.
Okay.
On the law enforcement aspect, we have the sergeant, the lieutenant. I have 2 captains. One that handles the patrol division, another captain that handles the investigation division, and another captain that handles the admin division of all 3 departments.
Okay.
And then I have my chief deputy, who is my right-hand man, and then, of course, myself.
Oh, nice.
Okay.
Nice. And all of that is the 413?
413 employees.
That you were
yes,
saying.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow. How do you manage that?
I know it's a
You
huge
know?
networking.
Yes, yeah, because if you think about it, when they told me, by the way, this is how many employees you have.
Oh.
I'm like,
Right.
I look at 413, and the first thing that comes to my mind is that's 413 different attitudes,
Yeah.
413
Yes.
different ways of thinking
Yep.
that I have to adapt to. They only have to adapt to
one?
I have to adapt to all of them.
Exactly.
That is very true.
But no, like I said, nothing could be done there without every single person doing their part. It's impossible.
Now, and talking about all these divisions amongst y'all, how would you go about working with like emergency management, public schools, the city, and all that?
We play a major role in that also, for the mere fact that, unfortunately, nowadays, with incidents that happen in schools, you have to constantly be networking
Right.
with your emergency management, your school district police departments, and of course your other police departments. Because at any time, we know it. At any time you can have an emergency. So you should already know what your role is when you respond to that particular.
And how to coordinate that.
Yeah, how to
right?
coordinate with them. So yeah, we try to work. Always keep that networking. Always that networking. Always that We're just a phone call away. You know, and one of the things that when I took office and I had a meeting with different chiefs of police and school districts is to look, I'm not here to tell you guys how to do your job. I'm just here to ask you, what do you need from us?
Right.
Tell me what you need and we'll provide it. Because at the end, like I tell all my admin, I said, every city and every school is in our county.
Yes.
Gotcha. Could you give us an example of like a situation where you've had to work with several entities like that?
There was an incident a couple of months back. It turned out to be really nothing, but when it first started,
It seemed like something.
Yeah, there was an individual that was seen with a rifle in one of the elementaries in the city of Primera, and immediately the radios started going off. What I did immediately, I contacted the chief from Primera and said, hey, what do you need? Do you really need my people there, or where exactly do you want them? Because sometimes you don't want to overload it,
Right.
because it creates more chaos.
Right.
And he's like, no, can you keep them in the surrounding areas and all this?
Contain
Just
it.
have them ready,
Yeah.
blah, blah. At the end, it turned out that, the individual didn't go. He was just a threat over the phone. But yeah, that was one of the ways, one of the incidents that.
But you still have to consider that as like a serious thing too.
Yes,
so,
yes.
exactly,
Nowadays,
yeah.
you have to. You cannot rule nothing out.
Right.
But
Right.
yeah, immediately I reached out to the chief and asked him, tell me where you want my people.
So what you're saying is that you respect a lot of jurisdiction.
Yes, yes, because it's extremely important because, regardless of what protocols you might have and certain ways of doing your things, each city and each school district have their own protocols.
Right.
So
Right.
yeah, basically to us is just tell me what you need from my team and we'll do it. But we'll
Got it.
follow your lead.
So that's how the sheriff's office
Yes.
gets involved. Because I think one of the questions that people might have, because they might see you patrolling and
Right.
they might see like a sheriff's car go down or a truck, and then they see a Brownsville
Right.
police
right.
department,
Yeah.
and they're like, okay, like
Who's who?
who's who?
Yeah.
What's the
Yes,
difference?
yes.
If I call 911, who's gonna come to me?
Yeah.
So how does it work?
And that's something that, and I'm glad you brought up about the 911. Extremely important that people need to understand that I think more than 90% of our calls come from cell phones.
Right.
And your cell phone, like everybody knows, depending on which tower it hits, that's
The
where the,
cell phone
911,
towers, right?
the 911 is going to get routed. Unfortunately, at times, and it's understandable, human nature, you're under an emergency and you want a quick response. But if your phone ends up getting routed to the 911 dispatch of Brownsville, let's just say,
Right.
but your call is somewhere in the outskirts of San Benito, Los Fresnos, they have to transfer the call to us. Just like the same way we get calls of accidents inside the city of Brownsville, so we have to transfer the calls. It's all, like I said, how the cell phone tower hits.
Okay.
But yes, our role is the rural area, the outside, and provide support for anything inside the cities.
oh,
Gotcha,
okay.
gotcha.
Yeah,
Okay. That explains.
Harlingen, Brownsville, every city that has a police department, basically our role is to provide support for them.
Right.
Got it.
In some of the small cities, and like anything else, and I remember when I was in Primera, sometimes you don't have the resources.
Right.
So we'll take the lead, but we'll have them next to us.
Got it.
But yeah, our big role is the outside, but anything inside, we provide support.
Got it. So it kind of illustrates a little bit how the health department works too. Some cities have their own health departments, such as Harlingen, Brownsville.
Yes.
But some cities do not, and they need our help,
Yes. Yeah.
like Los Fresnos, like Primera,
Yes.
like Los Indios. And so we're kind of there to bring that support
Yeah.
for them. So that's, I'm assuming that's how also
Are you
the sheriff's
saying-
office works.
You're saying we're the sheriff of public health?
There you go.
We're the health authority.
Authority, there you
There you
go.
go. Yeah. But no, yeah, it's a role that you have to be very careful how you delegate your authority. Yes, you do have county-wide jurisdiction, but you also have to respect.
Yeah, you have to
Right.
abide by everyone
Yes,
else.
Right.
everybody else's. Yes.
And Sheriff, is there anything that you would like the community to know about the work that you've been doing for the past 10 months?
One of the things that I want people to understand that we did shuffle around our personnel to add more boots in the ground. My number one priority when I ran my campaign, and it's always been my thing that when you put more patrol officers on the street, you deter more crime.
Yes.
You know, no, you're not going to stop at 100%.
Mm-hmm.
But if they see an officer that drives this area normally, at least 2-3 times a day or 2-3 times, within a couple of days, that criminal element might think twice.
Yes, they will.
Of course.
So, excuse me, yes, we have added more individuals for patrol. And I also have added, which is extremely important, you got to have supervisors in every division.
Mm-hmm.
You have to have a leader there. So I added a lot of supervisors that were assigned to one particular. I kind of spread them out and said, okay, now you're in charge of this. And one of the other things that we accomplished this year that had never been done before is our dispatchers were never classified as part of the law enforcement package.
Oh.
They were always part of the clerical. So when we did our budget, I'm like, no, I need to transfer them over to categorize them as law enforcement. So we finally got it. So from this year forward on, anytime law enforcement gets any kind of pay increase, our dispatchers will also
Very
get
good.
it. Yes.
Congratulations.
Yes.
That's
Yeah,
a big
to
thing.
me, it was big. It was big.
Of course.
Yeah, it was big.
And they deserve it.
Yes,
Because that's very stressful.
Yes. We've also just recently made a contract with a company to add cameras to different areas in the county.
Oh.
They are license plate readers, and they
Nice.
pick up on stolen vehicles.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, but we did it. We got together with big agencies like Brownsville PD and Harlingen that have already cameras out in the streets. So where we can all have the same system and we can all share videos whenever we need to. Instead of each having a different type of program where you have to download it to a USB.
Right.
No, we all came together. You know what? You have this system. You have this. I'm going to buy this system also.
Got
Gotcha.
it.
And I'll give you access to it.
That's the only way.
That way, if you need to look at it, you don't have to wait for me to give you permission.
No barriers, no
Yes.
obstacles.
No.
Easier.
Because, like I said, we just wear different color uniforms, but we're out there doing the same thing, public safety.
Why go through that headache of? I mean, you're both having to do the same thing
Yes,
too.
exactly.
There's
Yeah.
no point in going through that
Yeah.
same headache.
Yeah. We've also been very, very blessed that our vacancies have been getting filled quite a bit. When I took office, the jail itself had 41 openings. Right now, we are very blessed to only have 20.
Wow.
Yeah. So, it's been putting more people, to work, more people out on the street. And I want people to understand that when I said transparency, I meant it in every way, Unfortunately, there's incidents that, happen within the department, but I feel that I cannot only go and tell the people the good things. If something doesn't plan out, I need to let my public know.
Of course.
Because they have to be informed.
Right.
They have to be able to trust you guys too.
And to clear
Yes.
away misconceptions, because
That's it.
I'm pretty sure that with any agency, right, county-wise or anyways, there might be some misconception as to how the work
Yes.
is being done,
Yes.
or if enough is being done. I think that's one of the
Right,
things
right.
that gets
Yeah.
not necessarily attacked, but questioned
Yes.
a lot.
Yeah.
Do you deal with any misconceptions, ongoing misconceptions?
A lot of times what people don't, and it's human nature that we believe a rumor faster than the truth.
Oh,
Yeah,
yes.
yeah.
It's just human nature. It's just the way it is. So I always tell a lot of people, I say, look, when in doubt, ask me. And I'll answer it. If it's not something that's under investigation, I will answer it.
Right.
Because you have the right to get an answer from me because I'm your elected official.
Yes.
You put me here. I have to answer to you. And of course, you get the public eye, and I tell my officers, I said, when you put on a uniform, you become a magnet of attention.
Yes.
And I recently sworn in a couple of new guys, and they're like fresh out of the academy. And I tell them, I said, look, go to the restaurant right now in your plain clothes, and you go sit at the table to eat. People don't care what you order, how you ate, how long you sat on the table, and how much tip you left. People don't care. You go home, put on a uniform, and go back.
Right.
And people, the first thing they're going to see is, okay, did he pay for his meal?
Yes.
Did he eat healthy?
Big one. Yeah.
Did he leave a tip?
Yes.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh, yes.
And then you look how long he's been sitting there.
No, pues no está trabajando.
I know.
Yeah, and then the worst part about it is that if you happen to be sitting there, and it happens, because I got him a phone call. Oh, I just saw 4 of your officers sitting together. Little did they know that at that time when I got the call, only one of them was on duty. The other 3 were in uniform, but they were testifying in court
Oh, okay.
on their day off.
Uh-huh.
So they just happened to go meet that individual in uniform, but they saw 4 of them.
Right.
Yeah, to them.
And
that's
what
what
you
it was.
see is
exactly.
what
All
matters.
All 4 of them are there sitting down, and they were there for 45 minutes to an hour.
Yeah.
No.
Who's patrolling the streets?
And así sale. Pues, ¿qué están haciendo?
Yes.
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 And who's patrolling the
And
streets?
Yeah, it was
that
out
spreads quicker.
Oh, real quick.
Yeah.
This thing,
Oh yeah.
all it takes is one click, and it goes.
It's
It's a double.
platform. It's a video camera. It's everything.
Yeah. And it's a double-edged sword
Yeah.
because it helps,
It does help. Yes.
but it also creates a lot of misinformation. Do you have any advice, moving on to not so much the staff, but maybe like the residents and the community, on how to stay safe and engaged with what's going on with the sheriff's office?
Yes, I highly encourage all our citizens in the county, whether you're inside the city or you're out in the county, that you are the best crime fighter that we have. You are, like the slogan is the metiches, yes, but trust me, they
help
are the
out.
best, the best, And I always encourage the citizens, protect your own self, protect your own property. Don't put a sign out there that says I'm a victim by leaving your cars unlocked or leaving items inside your purse.
Yes.
Or if you have a fenced area, close the gate. I remember years ago the trend of putting burglar bars at homes. Everybody put burglar bars. And then we went from burglar bars to alarms. Everybody had an alarm. Now we all got to have cameras.
The ring cameras are there.
And people are like, well, why should I have to spend all that money? I said, because it's just the way it is. It's a way of life nowadays.
We have
So
to
safe.
evolve
It's a
with
way
it.
of life, So I always tell the citizens, be aware of your surroundings.
Yeah.
If you see a vehicle pass your house and then pass again, and because everybody knows who lives around the neighborhood.
Right.
I live out in the country, but I know there's 5 ranches there, and I know which car they drive.
Right.
So I tell people, call.
Situational awareness.
Yes.
Yes.
Situational awareness is
awareness.
so important. Get a license plate, get a color, something, or call us.
Right.
I'd rather have you call us 20 times, and it'd be nothing other than a surveyor or the appraisal district or somebody out there. Then you don't call me that one time, and then
And something happens.
your neighbor becomes a victim.
Exactly.
Right.
And a lot of people are like, well, I don't want to get involved. Well, we have to get involved. Because if you were the victim, you want everybody to get involved to
Oh,
help
of
you solve the
course.
crime.
Yeah, because
Of
it's not until
course.
it happens to you that you start to worry about it.
Exactly, yeah. So always take the time to make sure that your vehicles are locked. There's nowadays with the theft of motor vehicles,
Yes.
Yes.
people are spending large amounts of money on alarm systems and kill switches and everything. The criminal element is always looking for a way to beat the system.
Yes.
But what's it with it? Lock your doors, close your gates, lock your gates. Is it takes extra? Yes, it does.
Yes.
I tell people, I said, look, when did you ever think it would ever come that you would have to have armed police officers in school?
Yes. Oh, for sure.
No one ever even thought about that. But do we have a choice now?
No.
Yeah.
No.
The
We
school
have
used to be the safest place to put your kids in.
That was the place where a kid can go and learn and be free of stress and everything.
Yes.
Now we're teaching them how to hide under a desk.
Yes. Sadly. Sadly.
And it's like it's changed. So yeah, being out there, I tell the citizens, be aware of your surroundings. Always be aware of your surroundings. Don't hesitate to help a stranger. Don't. But be aware of your surroundings always.
Yes.
And like I said, anything, we have a Crime Stoppers line. You can report it, or you can call a regular non-emergency number if you feel that something that didn't look right. Like I said, with those cameras that we're setting up there, they come very handy.
Yes.
And we also have 7 other quick deployed video surveillance cameras that we're upgrading, that we'll be setting up in different parks, that are in the rural areas and things like that. But yeah, like I said, my citizens, every citizen, even if you're inside the city,
Yeah.
you are the best crime fighter for your police department. Because you are the one that sees it right offhand. And nowadays there isn't a person out there that doesn't record something.
Oh, yes.
Absolutely, yeah.
Or
That
anything.
doesn't record
Really.
something, yeah.
Really.
And if you happen to record a crime and
I mean, that's
you
evidence right there.
yeah, you might think that it's not important. Let us decide that.
Yeah.
Right.
Take it to your police department. Let them decide whether it's good or not. And unfortunately, a lot of times people are like, "Look, if I get involved, I'm gonna have to go to court."
Right. Right.
And I
They're
don't
like
have
hesitant.
I don't have
or-
time
or-
for that.
Inconvenience.
Inconvenience. I don't have time for it. But again, you go back to the factor that if you were the victim,
Oh, you'd
you
want-
would want the whole neighborhood to be there.
testifying. Yes,
Yes.
of course.
And
We have to
that's-
be a little more empathetic.
Yeah,
That's what we
That's
need.
why I tell people, I said, look, put yourself in the victim's shoes. You would want everybody to help you.
Oh,
They
yeah.
need all the help.
Oh, yeah.
And sometimes people just have to hesitate. I grew up in the South Los area, so I know how it is.
Yes.
I know
Yes,
exactly
yes.
how it is. But I always tell people, I said, look, you need to look at it that you hope you never, but maybe at one time you will be a victim,
Mhm.
and you're gonna want the help. So let's do it now. And you don't. And people need to understand, because you provided information to a police department, not necessarily means that you have to testify.
Right.
Sometimes your information can be corroborated with something bigger where really you're not needed. You're not, but whatever you provided will be used.
Yeah, the evidence
So you
is
might
enough.
not have to be in court.
Right.
Yeah, because that's also people just get discouraged.
Gotcha.
Which they should just get over it. They should just help.
No, just help. And then, I mean, you end up feeling good because you helped the officer of the law
course.
too.
Of
and
course.
and the ironic part about it is that you helped, and if they're making an arrest, you're also helping probably prevent other crimes.
Exactly. I don't think people see it that way. They just see it like immediately, like,
Yeah.
no, like it's going to inconvenience me in all
Yeah.
these ways. And like, why even? But they're not thinking like that's stopping future
Yeah.
crime or even
'Cause then
helping stop it from happening to
You
you.
let it happen, and then you're the next victim.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
it's funny because sometimes you see it. There's a crime happening, or like somebody getting assaulted, an elderly person, and a lot of people, instead of helping, they'll start recording.
Yes.
That's what we've come
Instead
to.
of stepping into the
Like
help.
physically help.
Yes, it's like, well, no, I'll just record.
Hello.
Yes, But, oh well. And it's just, I guess, the way we live nowadays.
Yeah.
It's the trend of nowadays. I tell a lot of people when I started my career, 30 plus years ago, to now, unfortunately, a lot of our big crimes are being done by our juveniles.
That's
And
sad.
that is what's so sad.
That's
Committing
sad.
murder, committing armed robberies,
That's sad.
carjackings, that's being
They're not
done
even
now.
old enough
No,
to start
no,
living their life fully,
no,
and they are they're
Yeah.
halting, they're pausing that
Rushing up
entire
left.
future
Yeah.
Yeah.
for
Yeah.
whatever XYZ
You
that they're
know,
committing.
And it's the juvenile law that hasn't been upgraded. Recently, Mr. Sines brought up a very important topic.
Which is our DA,
Yes,
correct?
our DA, Mr. Luis Sines, brought up a very important topic, that the juvenile law was created when the juveniles were stealing hubcaps or a radio or a bike, a lawnmower.
Petty theft.
Petty.
There
petty.
you go. And that's when the law was created. But now we're committing some
Serious.
real serious crimes. So these laws need to go up to the level
Yes.
of what the crimes are happening right now.
Yeah, it needs to adapt
They
also.
need to
Yes,
adapt.
because our juveniles, they know the law. They know exactly what they can do and get away with it in a sense. In a sense of they'll end up getting probation or a couple of months at the juvenile hall. But if those laws start to change,
Yeah.
where now they start seeing our juveniles actually facing hard time, it might discourage a few
Oh.
of
Yeah,
wanting
yeah.
to
Oh,
do
yeah.
crime. Yeah.
Oh, they'll think twice.
Yes, they will. Yes,
They will.
Yeah.
And so, Sheriff, public health and public safety obviously intersect a lot, and there are areas such as mental health, substance abuse, especially amongst juvies, and all the young kids out there that are still learning, they're still growing, and there are many temptations, as they've always been. But I think nowadays, young adults or even teenagers are faced with a different reality than maybe a few years back. How is it that we can help? What initiatives do you think should be supported, and with the DA's office, with the juvenile system as well?
I got grandkids. Teenagers already. And I always look at my kids when they're dealing with my grandkids. And I always say, don't just hear them, listen to them.
Mm-hmm. There's a difference. There's a difference.
You can hear them all day, but you have to listen to them.
Yes.
Take that few minutes to sit down and say, okay, what's going on?
Right.
Why the change of attitude? Why the change of mood? Why the change of this? Social media has been great, but it has also been the biggest harm to our kids.
Yes.
And the harm happens when adults don't monitor what our kids are doing with all this electronics.
100%.
But parents need to get more involved. Yes, I understand that we have to trust our kids, by all means. But it's also your responsibility as a parent to make sure that he or she doesn't make that wrong decision.
Right.
And then I've been asked before, so what do you think about discipline at home? From my experience, my dad and my mom were hard.
Yeah.
And I'm so glad they were. I am so glad they were, because I don't know what mistakes I would have done in life
If they hadn't been as
been,
hard and strict.
Yeah.
The problem with that is, unfortunately, too many parents or too many adults took it another level when it came to discipline. And now
it's getting a bad rep.
It's getting a bad rep.
Yeah.
I think a lot of parents now, I'm not a mom myself, but I have seen that many adults are more focused on being friends with their kids and having their kid like them.
Yes.
And I don't want to make him mad. I don't want to make him upset. I don't want to. But then you don't think about, he made you upset with what he did. Why aren't you taking into account that feeling of it went out of control? You have the power to correct and
I think that's so true that it's always trying to, at one point a parent can say, you know what, well, I want to be your friend and not be your dad or your mom.
Right.
The problem that I see with that is that now he's going to treat you with no respect because
you're a friend.
Because you're just a friend.
Yeah.
It's a fine line.
Yeah.
It's a fine line.
Yeah. I remember when my son, was growing up, I always tell him, I'll be your dad first, and then I'll be your friend.
Yes.
When you're able to at least have that communication of being able to give advice and whether they take it all or just a little bit, I think you have succeeded as a parent.
Right, because they opened up to you. They felt safe enough to at least let you know what was going on.
We talked, we were able to voice our opinions and stuff on the matter.
And whether they do it or not.
But at least you could say, I told you so, or I tried. That if you just allow them to fail completely and just say, well, no, I'm going to let them fall on their face. Well, no, wait a minute.
You also can't hold their hand.
That's not the point either.
Right. Yeah, that's not the point. If you can prevent it, you need to be able to step up and the plate and do it, And
maybe that's what we need to do, Sheriff.
Nowadays, we need to, as per parents, we need to slow down a little bit with our own lives. Because remember, our kids did not choose who their mom and their dad were.
Nope.
We made that decision for them.
Yes.
So now we need to do our part.
Yes, we do.
We need to do our part to take the time, so if it didn't work out between mom and dad, no problem. But they're still here.
Exactly. Yeah. Because that's an adult problem.
And they're both responsible for what's in the middle.
Yes.
And that's where I think the adult participation and part plays a major role. Major role.
Sheriff, Before we close this off, where can community members learn more about the sheriff's office or get involved? And I don't want to say reach your office because obviously it's 911. We don't want that, right? But where can they get a little bit more involved if they want to know?
We do have social media.
Okay.
We have a Facebook page that we try to put everything out there, current crimes or trends of crimes, and also additional information as to our upcoming events. And that's one way of following us that we're having.
Great. Well, thank you, Sheriff. Thank you so much for taking the time.
You're welcome, and thank you for inviting me.
No, of course. We want that knowledge. We loved the advice, and I really, really hope that people pay attention to what you shared because I think it's highly valued.
It's very important.
And it's very important coming from someone like you.
Thank you.
To bring that clarity and that transparency and that hard work that you're doing. So we very much appreciate you being here.
Thank you. And again, to my citizens out there, our doors are always open there. When in doubt, stop by.
You heard it here first. Thank you so much, Sheriff.
And thank you so much to all of our listeners for joining us on another fantastic episode of Health Yes. Don't forget to follow us on all of our social medias. Turn on those notifications so you don't miss another episode. And we'll see you here on another episode. Make sure to stay safe, stay healthy, and most importantly, stay educated. And we'll see you on the next one. Bye-bye.
Until next time, bye.
Bye-bye.